You know, Andrea, protecting your health and your financial well-being are two of the most important responsibilities that you owe to yourself and to those who love you, quite frankly. And no other program does this more so than Social Security, which actually turns the ripe age of 86 this August the 14th. But do you trust that your government is going to allow this major social program to continue to flourish for another 86 years? Well, if you have some questions about that or some doubts, we are going to talk about that in today's short educational video, so stay locked in. Hi, my name is Carson Graves, President and CEO of the Retirement Education Center.
And my name is Andrea Graves, Director of Operations at the Retirement Education Center. And the reason we've created these educational videos is to help to make the difficult and confusing retirement process simple.
Absolutely, Andrea, and we do this by incorporating a team of expert advisors ranging from certified financial analysts, certified financial planners, estate attorneys, insurance advisors, and other needed professionals to help us build a holistic roadmap that's going to let our clients know when, where, and how they can reach their retirement goals.
For the best retirement income planning advice, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell to be notified when we upload new videos.
Well, you know, Andrea, a recent AARP survey indicated that 85% of people who are ages 50 and older completely disagree with cutting any of the social benefits that are provided by, programs like Medicare or Social Security in order to decrease any type of budget deficit that we have right now. So that's an alarming amount of people who are definitely opposed of any major changes taking place with those programs. But unfortunately, Andrea, according to most studies, over the next 11 years, maybe around 2032 to 2035, depending on who you're talking about and what studies you're actually looking at, the Social Security insolvency issue will have to be addressed because they are indicating that the Social Security Trust Fund will be depleted at that particular time. So between 2032 to 2035, we must be aware that if no major changes are made, your Social Security benefits may very well be cut. And that is not something that I think many retirees are going to feel good about. And the question about that is really not that there are no changes that need to be made. We all understand that changes have to be made to this major program. But do we trust those who are going to be making those changes? And that is what we're going to discuss in our short educational video today. But before we get into that, there are two rules that we like to give you about your retirement income. And Andrea, what are those two rules?
Well, rule number 1 is to never run out of money. And rule number 2 is to never forget rule number 1.
All right, so let's go ahead and talk about how your Social Security benefits may be affected by this new bipartisan bill that's just been introduced.
So Carson, Congress has just introduced a new bipartisan bill called the Time to Rescue United States Trust Act. Why should retirees be concerned about that?
Yeah, Andrew, that is a bipartisan bill that's just been recently introduced that's going to consist of 12 members of Congress deciding on if they are going to be cutting benefits like Social Security, Medicare, and other major trust programs that we have in our government right now that are underfunded. And so why people should be concerned is that, many times, when things are being cut, the people who are receiving those benefits and need them the most are the ones that get hurt the most by those decisions. Andrew, we know that more than 50% of people out there receive at least half of their retirement income from Social Security. And we also know that 34% of the workforce has no retirement savings whatsoever. So when you're starting to think about that there can be major cuts to Social Security benefits, yes, you're going to get anxiety from a lot of people out there and a lot of pushback, quite frankly, when you have any particular party that's talking about reducing the benefits for Social Security or Medicare for that matter. I do want to make it clear, Andrew, that this is a bipartisan bill. This is not a Democratic bill. This is not a Republican bill. This is a bipartisan bill where our Congress is now going to gather to see how they can solve the insolvency issue as it pertains to some of our major trust funds that are actually in trouble right now. Now, we know that our government has done some important things as it pertains to Social Security over the years. You've been in my classes, Andrea, so we explain a lot of these concepts and talk about the history of Social Security. You know, one of the things they did in the 1950s is that they actually sat down and said, you know what, the cost of living is going up. So they actually gave a major increase as it pertains to Social Security benefits. It was a 77% increase for inflation. And then in 1972, they sat down again, very common sense measures, and said, you know what, we shouldn't have to look at this on a yearly basis. Let's just go ahead and tie this into the consumer price index for workers. And each and every year, starting in 1975, you would get an increase according to that particular inflation index. And so we know that Congress can do some smart things as it pertains to our benefits. So one of the main issues when it comes to Social Security is that, you know, when it was implemented in 1935, the average life expectancy, Andrew, was basically under the age of 60. So if you fast forward to today, the average life expectancy for most people is between the age of 78 and age 80. And that number is continuing to increase. And that is a good thing. But when you have a system that was designed to really not even pay you because you weren't able to even start your benefits until age 65 when Social Security was first implemented, then guess what? There will be an insolvency issue that must be addressed. So we know that. So in 1983, Congress did get together and say, how do we actually start, addressing this particular issue? Well, in 1983, President Reagan decided that your Social Security benefits could be taxable. And if you've been watching our educational videos, you now know that your Social Security benefits can be taxed anywhere from 50% up to as high as 85%. And so the issue would be that if that was one of the things that could solve the insolvency issue, that would be great, right? But that taxation of your benefits only makes up about 3.4% of the overall trust fund funding. So 3.4% is really what's your taxes on your Social Security benefits are buffering for the trust fund. Well, Andrew, the buck of that trust fund is really being covered by those FICA taxes that we all pay, right? 6.2%. But that is only being taxed on $142,800 of income. And I can assure you, as it pertains to making changes to trying to keep Social Security solvent, that is definitely going to be something that Congress is going to address. Now, there is another small gap in there that's in between the taxation of your benefits and what your company is actually paying into Social Security as well when it comes to those FICA taxes. There is another middle ground, and that is the interest on those treasury bonds. Now, that makes up only about 7.6% of your Social Security funding. And so you do have this three-headed monster that's taking care of Social Security. And currently, the Social Security Trust Fund sits at $2.9 trillion. $2.9 trillion. So you would think, wow, we should have enough money to continue to fund this system for the foreseeable future. But what many people don't know, since 2010, the expenditures from that Social Security Trust Fund has outweighed the actual taxation dollars that are coming into the trust fund. So think about that. Since 2010, we've been spending more money than we're actually earning. And what would happen to you if you were doing the exact same thing? Because you can't borrow money and you can't print money. Obviously, you're going to go insolvent as well. That is why this is such a critical issue that has to be addressed, unfortunately. But the question is how? And do we trust what they're going to do, Andrew? That's really the biggest question. So let's go ahead and talk about a few of the things that may be introduced in order to make sure that we can save Social Security and at least keep this benefit around for all of us who've actually been paying into it.
So Carson, do you feel like the government is going to have more of an income tax through this bill?
Well, that's a good question because you should be concerned about whether you're going to have more of your dollars going towards the taxation in order to make sure you keep Social Security funded. And here's what I can tell you, Andrea. There's two things that you have to do when it comes to budgeting. And we talk about, trying to keep a budget on this channel as well. But there's two things that you're going to have to do. Either when it comes to the government, these are their two measures. Either they're going to end up cutting things, as we've been talking about. They're going to end up cutting certain things as it pertains to Social Security. Or they're going to be increasing your taxes. It's just how it goes, unfortunately. Those two measures are going to be on the table for sure. What you don't want is that they do both. Right. So we hope they have some measure there that they don't do both. But you can expect, more of your hard-earned dollars to be taxed, or you can definitely expect some of those benefits from Social Security and perhaps other social programs like Medicare to also be cut as well. So, I can tell you, there's going to be some sleepless nights for the party that has to deal with this and be blamed for the frustration that seniors may feel if they are seeing any of these cuts take place. So, Andrew, let me go ahead and talk about a few things that we have seen that may be taking a stronghold when it comes to making any substantive changes as it pertains to Social Security. Andrew, as it pertains to Social Security reform, there are definitely several measures on the table that are being kicked around. I'm not going to talk about all of them, but I'm telling you the main ones that we have seen that have really gotten some traction is maybe they're going to increase the filing age for Social Security. So currently, the earliest you can file for benefits is age 62. They're talking about maybe moving that up a couple of years to age 64. They're also talking about increasing the age for full retirement. At one point, that your full retirement age was age 65. Now, if you were born between 1943 and 1954, your full retirement age is age 66. And if you were born after that, 1955 to 1960, your full retirement age is going to be increasing by 2 months increments. Now, 1960 and older, your full retirement age is age 67. They may be talking about moving that full retirement age to age 70. So, of course, we talk a lot on this channel about the 8% delayed retirement credits that you receive from your full retirement age to age 70. Well, if they move that retirement age to age 70, then, of course, those delayed retirement credits are going to be gone. They also are closing a benefit known as a restricted application, where you could restrict your application and file for the lower income earning spouses benefit. And so that loophole has been closed as well. So they're doing means testing. So do the rich actually need Social Security? That one has not gotten a lot of traction, but they're saying, hey, that people like Oprah Winfrey, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, do they actually need Social Security? So they're looking at all these different measures to see if they can start making those subtle changes in order to make Social Security last for everyone else. So here's the thing. You shouldn't operate out of fear. You should only be looking at your long-term goals when it comes to any type of planning. But what you should know that if they do not make these changes, there is a possibility that your benefits, they won't go away, but they could be cut by 21% or so. So you may only be receiving 79% of those benefits if they don't make any subtle changes as it pertains to the solvency of Social Security. So make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can stay informed about these important matters as it pertains to your overall financial well-being. So I really hope that our educational video today gave you some insight into how your Social Security benefits may be affected by the new Trust Act. Please remember that these videos are created for educational purposes only, and that you should always consult with your own financial advisor, your own tax advisor, and your own attorney regarding your own personal situation. If you are looking for a fiduciary advisor to help you with these types of complex matters, make sure that you click on the link provided in our description below and learn how you can become one of our high-value clients. For more information on this particular topic or any of the other subject matters that we've discussed in our prior videos, please make sure that you reach out to our office or leave any questions or comments in the section below.
To learn more about our services and how we can help you to increase your chances of not outliving your retirement savings, make sure to click on the link in the description below and sign up for our free Maximizing Your Retirement Income Masterclass. After this video, please check out our other videos that we've created that will give you tips on how to maximize your retirement. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and share it with a friend. Thanks for watching, and remember, if you have questions,
we have answers.